Hello, welcome back to another Craig and Dave Unscripted and another update of our monthly newsletter. This is our video version of the newsletter we send out via email. And if you're wondering why you've not received that, it's probably because you've told us in your preferences not to email you. We're happy to update that, but you do need to give us permission. So we're going to run through what's been going over the last month. And of course, leading up to this, we've been spouting on every monthly newsletter about our upcoming conference. Well, that's been and gone now. So now we can spout about how well it went. So, yes, we had our first ever Craig and Dave and Friends conference. And it was, well, it's fair to say, I think it was a success day, wasn't it? We were happy.
Oh, we were more than happy.
And more than that, the people that went were happy. The overall feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. A few more coffee machines, please, and we hear you. But I think the feedback from vendors, facilitators, what a great day. Sorry, that was an opening for you, Dave. You can tell it's unscripted. We're very good at not talking over each other, and then we say nothing. But I mean, yeah, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, no, it went really, really well. And like you say, we were apprehensive, of course. It's the first time that we'd laid on such a big conference. And, you know, our thanks go to Johnny Palmer and Francis Round at Bromsgrove School, because they did an awful lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the logistics and the publicity. And they just oiled the cogs and made sure that the day worked. And we could just turn up and look pretty, which was really, really nice. So thanks to them. But we were apprehensive about how well it was going to go. The weather didn't help because it was raining, and we were hoping for a nice sunny day, which would have made the site even more beautiful. But we kind of waited with bated breath what the feedback would be, because we were in our own sessions. So we didn't really have a good handle on how it was going elsewhere on the site at the time. And as the feedback started coming in, we were, I think, increasingly grinning, Craig, weren't we? Because people obviously had a really good time.
Yeah, it was excellent. It's fair to say we are definitely planning on doing it again next year, bigger and better. We're already in early talks with, Johnny and Fran from Bromsgrove School. Their head teacher and deputy head were there on the day as well, actually sort of helping out, and they were also grinning and beaming. I think they were excited to have this event at their school. So we have full support from the powers that be up in senior leadership to use the venue again next year. And Johnny and Fran, who Dave said, help lead on that for us, and Bromsgrove School we're already planning. So it's good stuff. If you attended the day, you'll know there was a number of professional CPD talks that went on, along with some excellent keynote speeches by our keynote talk, by Professor Miles Berry and indeed ourselves. Regardless of whether you came or you didn't come, or you attended two of the events but wanted the others, we now have access to all the materials that we used in all the talks. So regardless of whether you went or not, you'll be able to download those. So they're at craiganddave.org/conference/talks.
Oh.
And sorry, we're both. I'll let you do it, Dave, because you've got control.
We've done it again. We really should practice this.
No, it wouldn't be unscripted then, would it? So yeah, there's the page, and if Dave just scrolls down that for you, you can see you've got the 3 keynote speaks at the top there, and then all the CPD sessions. So whether you attended a session or not, or even didn't manage to make it to the conference, you can go there. For example, you're teaching OCR and you want an update on the future of OCR or Edexcel, they were both there, they both presented, and their talks are there for you to download. So head over to craiganddave.org/conference/talks. Right, okay, enough about the conference. That's all we've been spouting on about for the last few months, but there is other stuff, Dave, we've been doing over the last month. So do you want to start us off on this one? Because there's several things packaged together here. It's the course that's had the least love over the years, but we've changed that, haven't we, recently?
Yeah, we have. I mean, let's just be honest. Because we were teaching the OCR specifications, we did the other specifications or supported the other specifications because people asked us to. But it's very difficult when you're full-time teaching to support another course that you're not actually delivering yourself. And so that's always been a challenge. Yeah. But now we have additional capacity, and also we have other trusted teachers that are part of the Craig and Dave wider family that are able to help us now create and support some of these courses. It means that we can give AQA the love that it really deserves. So you're right about that, Craig. So the big update, what are we actually doing at the moment? So you have completely remastered 185 PowerPoint presentations, Craig, which I know is a massive undertaking because you've put all your fancy animations and everything there as well. But people were asking us for the PowerPoint files, and we weren't able to give them the files because they were in a proprietary explain everything format, because we originally created the videos way back when on an iPad, believe it or not. And so we weren't able to share the files. But now, because you've completely redone them all in a PowerPoint format, we can now share those with teachers, and those should become available during August. So that's a massive step forward. And of course, the PowerPoints are really the crutch for the videos. And so you've also recreated all 185 videos for YouTube, recorded all the audio, and we have tried to up the audio quality as well as the visual quality.
It's fair to say, let's be honest here, let's make the recording of the audio is a work in progress. I don't want to overpromise here. So as Dave said, I'm just going to jump in before Dave overpromises and I go off and like 185 PowerPoints is an awful lot. They all get professionally QA'd by an editor, so hopefully the minimum number of spelling and grammar mistakes make it through. That in itself is a big job. Then the audio is recorded, and then again we have an editor that post-processes that audio to further tidy it up and apply it and produce the finished MP4 that becomes the YouTube video. So when we say we're remastering these, it's night and day between the old AQA videos and the new ones. What we're committing to is getting all the PowerPoints available to you, downloadable for your premium memberships before the start of the academic year. And then we're going to follow behind that and upload the finished high quality videos. Now, that said, I don't need to think none will be ready. We already have, I think, the first 6 entire topics all done and dusted and backed up and ready to go. And we hope by September we'll have a few more. But the PowerPoints is our commitment to have that available to you 1st September, with the videos being released throughout next academic year. So I think that's a realistic commitment there.
Yeah, no, you're right, Craig. I mean, the audio is a work in progress. I mean, the truth is, let's peek behind the curtain here. You're working in your little office in your house. I'm working in my dining room, and we just don't have those production facilities. We're doing the best we can for what is a free service to students and teachers, and hopefully,
we're getting better and better. I mean, I look a little bit like a professional YouTube streamer now. We're using professional, if anyone recognises, professional Yeti mic and pop filters. And as I say, we're using external audio capture tools now. We're not using the inbuilt audio capture in PowerPoint. We realise that compresses it to a mess, and then that's being post-processed, as said, by an editor as well. So yeah, it certainly is the best audio experience we've done so far on our videos.
Yeah, we haven't quite got though to a recording studio yet, though, Craig, with all the fancy anti-noise foam.
Not yet. But that's not all we've got for AQA level. So that's the PowerPoints and videos, but you've been working on some additional stuff on top of that. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so we reported probably a couple of months ago now that we've broken down the AQA course from, I think it was about 10 topics into 52 topics, because lots of teachers were asking us for a further breakdown. Of course, the problem with doing that is it exposes quite a few gaps. And now we realize that we need to backfill a lot of questions for quiz and advance, so that you've got really a good comprehensive set of questions in Smart Revise for AQA computer science. So that's all currently happening, and our good friends Alan Harrison and Andy Colley, who are very experienced teachers and very knowledgeable in computer science, are helping us with that content. So I'm hoping that you'll have a much better offer for September, and that may bleed a little bit into the autumn term, but you'll certainly have the best Smart Revise experience for AQA computer science that you've ever had.
Brilliant. So yeah, big updates for AQA level, long overdue, and you're welcome. We'll carry on working on things that you request. Right, so what next? It's that type of year, isn't it? It's the academic year is finishing. People are looking forward to the summer holidays. And then, of course, inevitably, looking forward, if that's the right word, looking apprehensively at the start of yet another academic year, because they roll round one after the other. So yes, we've got some updates for you here about teaching GCSE or A level for the first time. Can we save your summer holiday, Dave?
Yeah, well, we definitely can. Just looking at some of the Facebook groups and the posts that people are saying, I'm picking up a GCSE or an A-level class for the first time, or even I'm a head of department in a new school and I want to freshen things up and do things differently. And, what should I do? And what have I got? Well, you don't need to spend your entire summer holiday planning a GCSE or A-level course or thinking about new contemporary ways of delivering those courses. We have got you covered. Craig and I have been teaching for, over 20 years, and what we offer is something that was developed over a decade. We've delivered it in the classroom successfully year after year after year with outstanding results, the best results we've ever had since we adopted the resources that we now offer to other teachers. So, by all means, if you want to have a look, head over to craiganddave.org and see what it is that we've got to offer. We've got schemes of learning, lesson plans for GCSE. We have a slightly different approach for A-level to give you more freedom. Lesson theory PowerPoints, starter activities again for GCSE, but we have a variety of activities on offer for A-level, which you could also use as starters. Workbooks and answers, or structured learning records, as we call them at A-level. And all sorts of revision activities and other bits and pieces. So we've got a lot of things to offer for GCSE and things to offer for A-level as well. So if you are thinking about the new year, you don't need to spend your entire summer holiday planning. We literally have got everything you need. You can just pick it up and run with it on day one with very little preparation. And we're happy to support you through Teams, Zoom, talk you through what we've got, talk you through our delivery methods. And as I say, I think what's unique about Craig and Dave is, we have delivered courses successfully with our materials. So we know they work. We're not just a publishing company.
Exactly. And as Dave mentioned, that lack of a purple tick there under AQA level for lesson PowerPoints, that is exactly what we were talking about earlier. So although that's not there to download now, come September the 1st, the entire AQA A-level specification, bullet point by bullet point, start to finish, paper 1 and 2, covered by 185 detailed PowerPoints. It works out, by the way, at over 3,500 slides of content, in case anyone was curious. That's what I've been doing in the past 6 months. Right, moving on though, you mentioned about breaking down topics and subtopics for the AQA A-level course in Smart Revise and backfilling, but that's not the only course in Smart Revise that you have been working on with our content creators. We also have updates coming to the Pearson Edexcel 1CP2 spec. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we do. I mean, quite a few teachers said to us, we've swapped from OCR to Pearson Edexcel, and we were able to manage a transition in Smart Revise for those teachers as well. But then the teacher said, this looks remarkably like OCR. It's a bit copy-paste. I wonder whether we might be able to do something to make that course a little bit more bespoke, because there are nuances with the Edexcel course. And again, hands up, yes, we did create the Pearson Edexcel course in Smart Revise from using the OCR as a template, because it just allowed us to get a lot of content out quickly for those people that were asking for it. However, now we are able to reflect on that. And I thought it was going to be a little nip and a tuck, change the odd question here and there. But in classic Craig and Dave style, we actually ended up doing a forensic look at every single question in Smart Revise for the Pearson Edexcel GCSE course and asked ourselves, is this the best that it can be? Is it the most suitable for that specification? And we are changing nearly every question as a result of that. So it's a big job, but it's really, really worth it, because it enables us to maintain what we think is that unique selling point of really making sure that our content is exactly pin sharp matched to the specification. So Pearson Edexcel 1 CP2 teachers, from September, you will have effectively an all new course in Smart Revise, and those changes will be applied as well to your current year 10s that are in transition to year 11, and we'll be in year 11 in September. So there's nothing for you to do, all automatic updates, and that will give you a much better experience in Smart Revise as well.
Marvelous. Just a quick update here. We do have an annual maintenance window for Smart Revise. We try and bring Smart Revise down as little as possible. Obviously, we have to do it when we do updates, and we like to do those sort of late on a Friday or Saturday, sort of like at 10 or 11 p.m. even. But there is a period every year where we bring Smart Revise down for a good sort of 2 to 3 days, and that's we can archive and remove old courses. We do that sort of halfway through the summer holiday when usage is at its lowest. So 9th to the 11th is when we bring Smart Revise down. What that means to you, if you have an old course that still has classes attached to them and you haven't yet downloaded the analytic data, but you're thinking, oh, I need to keep it for my records, I must get round to that, do it before the 9th to the 11th. So those courses will then be gone. Okay, we don't hold on to that data forever, just to free up space and also for GDPR reasons, obviously. So if you've got any old courses, they'll be appearing as black tiles now down the bottom. They would have expired. Please pop in and download anything you want to keep.
Just to clarify, though, yes, it doesn't affect the courses that have just finished. So
no,
your year 11
an extra year.
Yeah, and year 13 that have just sat exams, you know, the 2024 courses, they will be there for 12 more months. We're just talking about the 2023 courses.
Yeah, it's definitely worth saying. Yes, valid point. Sorry. Yeah, we don't pull the rug from under your feet immediately when the exams are over. Yeah, these courses are already almost a year old now. Right, well, staying on Smart Revise, let's talk about the road ahead. If you were at the conference, you would have seen this wonderful PowerPoint here, which lords up everything we've released over Smart Revise over sort of the last 6-7 years. And as you know, if you've been with us, you'll know that Smart Revise is an ever-evolving product. But what we also did in one of our big keynotes is we talked about the future of Smart Revise. Where's it going next? What are the next big features? And we have some whoppers coming your way. We won't go into some detail because this was an hour-long talk. And as I said, you can pop along to craiganddavid.org/conference/talks, and you can download the presentation and look at it in detail. But I definitely think it's worth us just talking about probably the first feature that people are going to see. In fact, it's due to go into testing on our side any day now. And that is the introduction of something that we are calling flightpaths. And this came out of a 2-day off-site analysis meeting, which involved me, Dave, and our development team. We actually took ourselves out of the office, off-site, booked a hotel, and looked at everything in Smart Revise, what people want, where's it going, and we came up with our next big feature. And this feature then allows us to hang a whole series of further major improvements. Now, we're not going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about each of the further ones in later videos and updates. If you want to get a sneak peek, you can download the talk and have a look. But this is the first one that some of our later big features are going to hang off of. So in a nutshell, Dave, we're going to challenge you then, right? in 60 seconds, maybe 90, what essentially is flightpaths?
Yeah, so at the moment, when students are answering questions in Smart Revise, be it quiz, terms, advanced, tasks, however they're doing it, they don't really have a sense of their progress over time. They have a revision report that gives them a snapshot and tells them exactly where they are at any given point with a pie chart, but it doesn't really show them whether they are on the right trajectory or flight path to get to the end and be exam ready when the exams come. So they don't really have a feel for whether their current progress is enough. And essentially, flightpaths solves that problem by showing students where they've come from, where they are now, and then the sort of trajectory of where they're headed. And what we've introduced is a lower minimum expectation line. So if you fall below that, then what's your performance in exams really going to be like? We've then got a target flight path cone, which is if you're in that green area, then you're doing okay. And obviously you want to be as high in that green area as you can be, but you know that you're on track. And then we've got an upper aspirational line, and you can go above it and outside of your flight path cone, and that will tell you that you're sort of excelling and you're well on track and more for getting to the end point at the right time. So the idea being that we want all students to be at their upper aspirational line by the end of the course, and students and teachers should know whether they're on track to be there. That's essentially what flight paths are.
There you go. And I say that there's a lot more we could talk about, and maybe we end up doing some specific videos on that. Just one more thing, I don't want to go through the whole presentation, but obviously that is the existing dashboard for Smart Revise that students see. It's looked like that for a while. Because flight paths are a major new feature, we're going to be completely redesigning the student dashboard and making flight paths front and central. Now, these are mock-ups, I should point out, and those 4 question marks refer to 4 further features and ideas we have for advancements, which will come after we've released flight paths. We're going to talk about some of those in future videos, but as I say, if you're curious of what some of the big features are we've got coming out next year, you can download that talk from our conference page. But yeah, a lot happening with Smart Revise over the next 12 months, and at the same time we're continuing, I think it's fair to say, Dave, listening to your feedback, putting in quality of life improvements. Just this Friday, I believe, we've got course cloning going in, the ability to clone, not course cloning, I apologize, task cloning, the ability to clone tasks across course series, something you have asked for. And just recently we had an additional color theme request coming from a school to help with a particular syndrome, a form of dyslexia that we weren't catering for, and that is going live this Friday as well. So we're carrying on putting live quality of life improvements and requests that you feed into us. We meet every Monday on Element Team and discuss your requests. So along with the big stuff, we're still doing the stuff that you are asking us for. Right, that leaves us with just one product left, and this is very much your baby, Dave, so I'm going to let you lead. We've got a couple of updates here. What's new in Time2Code, Dave?
Yeah, nothing.
So what are you going to talk about?
Nothing is new yet. Okay. I mean, Harry and Anna at Mission Encodable did put together some summer challenges. So hopefully you enjoyed those if you engaged with them. But we are pleased to announce that we are working quite informally, but we're working with an experienced and practicing teacher, Peter Hudson, who's creating a platform called GoCodeIt. What GoCodeIt is essentially is a replacement for coding rooms or Replit. So if you were using those platforms and you now had the rug pulled, and we all know what we think about that, but also, some of those tools were starting to embed autocomplete with AI and things like that, stuff that's not really very helpful in a classroom when you're trying to teach students the basics. And so what Peter Hudson has done is created something that he needs, and therefore he knows everyone else needs. And this is going to be an excellent replacement for both coding rooms and Replit, written by a computer science teacher for computer science teachers. And we said to Pete, wouldn't it be great if we could get our coding resources into your platform, because that would obviously augment it, because then you'd be able to set tasks for students for Time2Code. Because at the moment our site is quite static, and so this is going to be fantastic. I'm not able to sort of reveal it and show it today, but hopefully maybe in our next monthly newsletter we might be able to show you a few screenshots and see what that looks like. But the Time2Code site will be available with the functionality that you used to have in Replit and coding rooms. Hopefully I'm not overselling this, Pete. I know you've worked really hard on it. and that will be great. We are aware that Raspberry Pi are also creating a very similar editor. They have an editor out there now, but having all those teacher tools, classroom management tools on top of the basic IDE is something that they are also working on. Time2Code's not available through that platform, simply because Raspberry Pi haven't asked us, and we would happily have conversations with them if you're somebody that's using the Raspberry Pi editor, but please ask them if you want Time2Code in there. But it will be available hopefully in the GoCodeIt platform.
Brilliant. And that's not all that isn't available yet, Dave, but you're going to tell people about. What else is coming to Time2Code?
No, we mentioned this a long time ago, and then it's all gone a little bit quiet, and that's because we've had so many other priorities and things to do. And also, not least, because we said to Harry Nana at Mission Encodable, hey, would you like to create a C# version of Time2Code for us? And we'll pay you for it. But that would be great. We've got so many other things to do. And they were like, yeah, that'd be good. We're more than happy to do that for you. And then, of course, A-levels and the demands of A-levels hit them, and they realized they didn't quite have as much time on their hands as they thought. So now that we're in the summer holiday, they decided to do more work and more programming, and they have written all the programs for Time2Code, all the solution code in C# for us, and we've just got to sort of build the site, make the videos, and there'll be a version of C# in Time2Code coming soon. I don't want to promise when. I'd love to get it out for September. I will try, but it means that we won't get much of a holiday, so I'm not gonna overpromise on that one, with all the other work that I'm doing in Smart Advice to support AQA A level and Pearson Edexcel 1 CP2 as well. So I've just got to be realistic, but I will try, because I know you really need it in September if you're going to make good use out of it. It will not be available on the GoCodeIt platform because, there are all sorts of technical reasons that I'm not going to get into, maybe for the future. But at the moment, it's only the Python version that would be available on the GoCodeIt platform. And the final thing I will say is, and I know I keep saying this, but it is the truth, this is not the end of the journey for Time2Code, because we released level 10, which was the Turtle module, earlier in the year. And plans are afoot for level 11, which will be SQL and using Python code and C# code with SQL. So that's going to be really good for your top-end students that want to engage with SQL from a coding perspective and not just from some sort of QBE grid or whatever. And then eventually we want to do object orientated and interfaces and other things, so that the Time2Code platform takes you all the way on the journey through Key Stage 3, through GCSE, through A-level, and pops you out at the other end able to make suitable A-level projects. That's the plan, but all the qualifications will probably change before we get there.
Don't say that. I remember this term as a head of department used to be great. It's like, oh, game time. The 13s have gone, the 11s have gone. I've got some free. But I tell you what, since I've been working full time for Craig and Dave, I feel like I'm busier than ever before. Not undervaluing what teachers do, by the way, because I appreciate the pressure you guys are all under. I remember it well. But yes, we will carry on. We will carry on working throughout the summer holiday. Although we do give ourselves our own summer holidays. Otherwise, our respective families, I think, would just. I
saw a post on one of the Facebook groups, Craig, where someone said, I'm offended by the term gained time. I haven't gained anything. I'm just doing my job like I always did. This is just as important as everything that came before. And I thought, do you know what? You're right. It's not gained time at all.
I don't want to go off the soapbox. I had half an hour, but I remember back at our school, we used to have a certain member of SLT that calculated the number of hours of gain time each of you had. And then you had a pro forma you filled out to say how you were utilizing that gain time. So I was horrific. The amount of A-level I had in year 11, it was like, you've got 23 hours of gain time. Please justify in this how you're going to use that. What I should have done back then is gone to my union. But anyway, let's not go down all that road. Right. I feel like we're done with the newsletter. I think it just leaves us to say, look, enjoy a well-deserved summer holiday and a break. If you're thinking about planning for next year, we've got you covered. So don't panic, enjoy yourselves, relax, because before we know it, the 1st of September will be around and we'll be back with another update. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.